When an alien colony was abandoned to die, the galaxy looked away. But humanity didn't. They heard the call no one else answered, and came crashing down from the stars like thunder. High above the trembling moon in a battered surface shelter, Commander Vakror paced. His mandibles clicked with fear. His armor plates glinted with dust from the collapsed mines. The only connection to the trapped miners was a single fraying resonance cable. Vakror pressed his forehead against it and whispered, "Kaelin, are you there?" A crackle, then a weak voice, his niece. "Uncle, the little ones can't breathe well. Our air ducts are fading." Vakror's exoskeleton shuddered. "Hold on, little flame. I'll bring help, I promise." But it was a promise he couldn't keep, not with the powerful Solari refusing extraction, not with the Consortium abandoning them. He stepped back from the console. Hundreds of rescue drones lay scattered, all useless. In that moment, something fractured inside him. He opened a universal frequency, one so old it was barely used anymore. A desperate plea into the emptiness. "To anyone who can hear me, my people are dying. We have hatchlings. We have no air. No one else will come. Please, if you have any mercy, help us." He closed his eyes. The stars remained silent. For 14 long minutes he thought the galaxy had already decided to forget them. Then, the stars boomed. 6 streaks appeared in the sky, igniting the horizon like falling suns. They weren't Solari ships. They weren't Consortium craft. They were rugged, blunt-nosed, and loud. Everything the elegant Solari found distasteful. They were human. Commander Vakror staggered outside as the ships landed, dust spiraling around them. The lead ship's ramp thudded open, and a small figure stepped out. For a species with no armor, no claws, no exoskeleton, humans were absurdly fragile, and yet impossibly confident. The leader wore a white rescue vest. "Rhea Morgan, Terran Search and Survival Corps." She grinned. "We got your message." Vakror's mandibles opened in disbelief. "But you are not part of the Consortium." "Good thing, too," Rhea replied. "Would have slowed us down." Behind her stepped more humans. Dr. Elias Navarro, medic and xenobiology specialist. Chief Engineer Juno Kessler, grease-streaked and smiling. Lieutenant Hadi Gibran, geostructural analyst, and a team of 14 Terran rescuers in heavy exosuits. Vakror rasped, "The Solari forbid extraction. The tunnels are unstable, the air—" "We know," Rhea said, lifting her helmet. "We read the reports." "Then why come?" She shrugged. "Because someone needed help." Humans, Vakror realized, were the one species in the galaxy who required no political reason to save strangers. Just a heartbeat, just a conscience. The Tremora depths were a nightmare of shifting sands and collapsing support beams. Hades studied the seismograph readings. The entire moon's crust is like a sandwich about to fall apart. "Is that a technical term?" Juno asked. "It is now." Rhea clapped her hands. "All right, team. Tri-point rescue formation. 3 drill sites. Rotate teams every 5 hours. Remember, 312 lives below. No excuses." Vakror watched as humans unpacked their gear. Plasma drills, seismic stabilizers, collapsible tunnel braces, oxygen injectors. They worked with the frantic efficiency of beings who had done this 1,000 times. Within 3 hours, they pierced the outer crust. By hour 6, they had installed the first oxygen feed. Vakror pressed his head to the resonance line again, trembling. "Kaelin, little flame, do you hear me?" A faint reply came. "Uncle, the air, it feels better." The Brakka commander collapsed to his knees. "The humans, they came. They are digging for you." A small, tired laugh. Humans? The softskins? Vakror glanced at Rhea, sweating, kneeling in the dust, shouting orders. Yes, he said softly. The softskins. By hour 15, the humans had carved deep into the moon's bowels. But progress came at a price. A tremor hit with the force of a roaring beast, knocking everyone off their feet. One of the secondary tunnels imploded, burying a 3-person rescue team. Rhea sprinted toward the collapse site. Roll call. Static. Dust. Silence. Then a faint voice. We're alive. Minimal air. Suits compromised. Stuck under debris. Hadi cursed. That section is going to go any minute. Juno wiped blood from her forehead. Then we dig faster. Vakror stared. But you risk your lives for 3 when over 300 remain. Rhea didn't even glance at him. We don't leave our own. The Brakka commander swallowed. Among the Brakka, sacrifice was honored but selective, calculated, efficient. Humans were chaotic, beautifully chaotic. Within 40 minutes, the trapped team was freed. Their exosuits were cracked, their faces pale, but alive, and they went right back to digging. 32 hours into the rescue, Juno's drill broke into a hollow chamber. Air hissed out with a sickening whistle. Hatchlings! Vakror cried, rushing forward. Through the crack, they could hear high-pitched, frightened whimpers. Rhea knelt, shining her light inside. Tiny eyes, glowing faintly in the darkness, blinked back at her. Hang in there, kiddos, she whispered. We've got you. Using micro-cutters and foam stabilizers, the humans opened a safe passage. One by one, trembling Brakka hatchlings crawled out, carried gently by human arms too soft to be safe, yet somehow safer than any exoshell. A small hatchling pressed its head against Rhea's shoulder. Are you warriors? Rhea laughed breathlessly. Nah, we're just people. Vakror watched, his throat tight. Perhaps being just people was its own kind of bravery. When the Solari Consortium learned humans were performing an unauthorized rescue, their response was swift. A battleship appeared in orbit, silver, angular, imposing. They broadcast one curt message. Terran fleet, cease actions immediately. This operation violates Consortium jurisdiction. Rhea patched through while still installing oxygen conduits. Sweat dripped down her face. With all due respect, she said, stuff your jurisdiction. People are dying. Your interference destabilizes corporate order. Your inaction destabilizes morality. Withdraw or face sanctions. Rhea glanced at the hatchlings clinging to her leg. She switched off the transmission. Let them sanction me, she muttered. I don't work for them. By hour 44, the main minor chamber was within reach. But the moon had other ideas. A superquake slammed the tunnels. The humans were thrown against stone. Lights exploded, supports snapped, a deafening roar. Then the ceiling came down. Vakror screamed. Rhea! Dust swallowed everything. Minutes passed like hours until a coughing voice spoke through a crackling comm. Still alive, Rhea wheezed. Team status? One by one, the humans checked in, injured but alive. Then came another voice, weak, fading. Rescuers, we hear you. This is Foreman Kralk. Our air is almost gone. The last chamber, the largest, the most crowded. Hadi scanned the readings. If we drill straight, we'll reach them before the whole thing collapses. Juno strapped on a fresh drill array. Then let's make history. Vakror grabbed Rhea's arm. If you die, this is not your moon. These are not your people. Why fight so hard? Rhea placed a hand on his shoulder. Because when someone calls for help, someone should answer. doesn't matter where they're from. The final breach was brutal. The last supporting beam cracked. Plasma drills overheated. Human suits tore. Juno's arm was bleeding. Hadi's leg was barely holding weight. Ria's visor had a spiderweb crack threatening to shatter. But then, a final burst. Air whooshed through the opening, light burst into the chamber, and 312 Brakka stared back, exhausted, trembling yet alive. Cheers, clicking, roaring, sobbing filled the air. Vakror pushed inside, lifting his niece Kaelin into his arms. "You lived, little flame," she pointed at the humans. "Because they came." Ria's knees buckled. She finally allowed herself a tired smile. "Welcome back to the surface." When the survivors reached the top, the Solari battleship descended. The Solari counselor emerged, crystalline limbs clicking in irritation. "Human Commander Ria Morgan, you are hereby charged with—" But thousands of voices cut him off. Brakka miners, hatchlings, families. They surrounded the humans, forming a protective wall of armor and loyalty. Vakror stepped forward, towering over the Solari. His voice boomed. "These humans saved our children when you would not spend a single credit. Your authority is ashes here." The crowd erupted. The Solari, realizing their loss of control, retreated to their ship without another word. Ria rubbed her temples. Well, that could have gone worse. 3 cycles later, a new banner flew across Cryon 7, the Galactic Humanitarian Alliance, founded jointly by Brakka and humans. Open to all species who believe that compassion outranks profit. Vakror stood beside Ria as they watched the first multi-species rescue training commence. "Your people change everything," Vakror murmured. "Where others measure cost, you measure lives." Ria shrugged. "Not all humans are heroes, but enough are willing to try." Keelan ran up, tugging Ria's sleeve. "Will you teach us how to dig like humans?" she asked. Ria laughed. "Absolutely. First lesson. Bring snacks. A lot of snacks." Vakror gazed at the bustling rescue teams. Brakka engineers, human medics, even a few guilt-ridden Solari volunteers. In the end, it wasn't force that reshaped the galaxy. It was kindness, chaos, compassion. Soft skins with soft hearts, who arrived like thunder when everyone else turned away. And as Commander Vakror looked up at the stars, he wondered how many other forgotten worlds would soon hear that same thunder. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more tales from across the galaxy.